this is Kate Del Vecchio, Introduction to Educational Technology, assignment number 5, building a personal computer. As you can see here, I have my computer right here. This is the front of the computer, and if you come around back, this is the back of the computer. And in the back of the computer, you can see this is where the power supply goes, where the power cord goes. This is the back of the motherboard. These are the expansion slots with all the different cards. Expansion cards, excuse me. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to first tilt the computer. I'm going to remove the cover. All I have to do is I have to unscrew. There's this one little green screw right here. Unscrew the green tab. Now just looking at the computer, looking at the inside, you can notice different components. Right here you have the power supply. This is where the optical drives go. This is the hard drive. The expansion cards are right here. It's all attached to the motherboard, as you can see inside. Other things that are connected to the motherboard are the 4 pieces of RAM. There's the CPU fan under the heatsink, and under there is the central processing unit. Okay. The first thing I want to do is to disassemble the computer. It's from the power supply, which is everything is connected. I'm just going to unplug the cords. So just one by one, just simply unhooking each one of these cords that are connected to all parts of the components of the computer. And they pretty much simply come right off. Once I hooked all the cords out of the power supply, I can remove the power supply. And just simply, there is a green tab right in here. And all I have to do is pull that out. And this simply just comes right out, along with all the cords. I'm just going to put this right to the side. Next, I can take these wire ribbon off, and they just simply pop right out. Once those ribbons are out, then I can remove the optical drive, which the only one that's on this computer is the DVD writer, which is right here. This to the side. Next, I'm going to remove the hard drive, which is right over here. I just have to simply unlock the slab right here and pull this out. This is very tight in there. So once I lift out this is the hard disk drive. Okay, it's a little bit heavier, but kind of looks like a small book. And it's very dusty. From there, I can take out the CPU fan and the heatsink. This one is just slightly attached by these little pins. All I have to do is just release those pins, lift this up, and unhook the cord. And as you can see, this is the heatsink and the fan to keep the CPU, which is right under there, nice and cool. I'm going to put this one right to the side. And then I'm going to start removing the expansion slots, or the expansion cords. So outside of the computer, on the back of the computer, there's just one little screw. I'm going to undo the screw right here, lift this down. There is hooked up to power right over here. So this is the sound card. I just have to lift that sound card out. That one cord. And then this just simply lifts right up. It's attached right in there. So this is the sound card. This is the video card. Should just pop right out. It's not attached to anything. And this is another expansion card. This one is a little tabbed. I apologize, I had a little extra tab to unclick. So you can see the 3 cards here, the heat sink with the CPU fan, the hard drive, the DVD player, and the power supply. And the last thing to remove is the RAM out of the motherboard. So once I've removed all of those things, if you look inside the computer, you can actually see the motherboard pretty quickly. These are just these little bits of RAM. You just have to unhook the tabs, and these just slide right out. And there's 2 more. So this computer has all 4 slots taken up with bits of RAM. So if you look inside the computer, you can see this is disassembled. All the components are on the table here. And now I think I'm ready to reassemble it. So I think what I do is I just move backwards from where I just started. So I'm going to put the RAM back in, one by one. Just slightly put them, measure them into the slot. So each one has its own little slot. And you just push the tabs back in, so the RAM is back in there. And then I'm going to start by putting each expansion slot back in, expansion card, starting from the last one. And that one went a lot easier than coming out. The sound card. It's pretty simple, just a matter of lining up the cards to the slots and pushing it down into place. Okay. Once those are on, I'll put this little extra guy right in here. This is just if you wanted to put, there's room for one more expansion card. You're able to do so by just removing that little extra piece. You close it up, and then I'm just going to screw that right back on in the back. Pretty simple. If they're all in right, of course. Next, I'm going to put the CPU fan and the heatsink back in there. So it just slides right in over the CPU. Make sure the tabs are in. And you're going to plug in the tab right back in the little slot right here. And pushing the tabs right back down. It's almost like a safety pin tab. Once that's secured, and you're ready for the next step. I'm going to put the hard drive back into place. Remember, it's very tight coming in, so I have to put a little effort to push it back in. Once it's locked into place, there's this little green tab I just have to push down, and that just secures it into its spot. Next, I'm going to put the DVD drive back in. Just want to make sure that it's right side up. And just slide it from the outside and slide it right in. And you're going to use these tabs again right here to lock it into place. Lastly is the power supply. So we're going to put this back in like so. And then you can push this tab to put it right back into place so it stays right in there. And the last thing to do is just to hook up all the cords again. So this one we know goes right into the sound card. Put it right in there. Okay, these ribbons. Okay. This one I know goes, this one goes into the hard drive, back into the hard drive. It's just a matter of lining it up and pushing it down till you hear a click. And this ribbon goes right back here into the DVD drive. And again, just pushing it into place. And then lastly is to hook up the power supply. So this larger one we know goes right down in to the motherboard, lining it up and clicking it into place. This one goes right into the hard drive. This one goes into the disk drive, the DVD drive. And there's one more. Oh, this one right here, the square one, goes right into the motherboard. Clicks right in there. And these are just extra tabs in case you put any more drives into the slots that are open right here, whether it be a floppy disk drive like years ago, or maybe a CD player and different things that you could incorporate into there. But there you go. Now it's all put back together. It looks just like it did before. And now the last thing to do is just to put this right back on. So it's just a matter of flipping around, putting it into the slots, and just putting the case on top. And the case is on, and you hear that clicking sound. And all you have to do is screw it right back into place. The computer is ready to go. Thank you very much.